I think we should start this week. You've got a little bit of fame this week, don't you? You were mentioned in some headline titles. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, sure. It was quite a surprise actually. I was not expecting it. I was mentioned in a Forbes article about Disneyland Paris. It's a great article as well. They pretty much specify everything that's happened with those secret taxes Disneyland Paris has been paying the Walt Disney Company for, well, since it was created in 1992. So
And it turns out it's
it's an
quite a lot of
amazing.
money.
Yeah, a lot more than I was expecting actually. So
Does
yeah,
it?
and
Sorry.
so pretty much it's okay. Pretty much, there's this hidden tax that Disneyland Paris has been paying the Walt Disney Company. It's both royalties and management and licensing fees, which after the 30 years of the resort account for about 1.6 billion euros.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
1 Oh,
quite a lot of
wow.
money.
That's a lot. Still
Yeah.
not enough to make a profit, though, is it? Like, overall, it's still not a profit, is it?
Um, I don't know actually, because the banks have forgiven the Disney's debt in the past. There's been a lot of stuff happen, so the shareholders, all that stuff. To be honest, in the last couple of years since Disney's the takeover of the resort in 2017, I believe, or 16, I'm not sure. Uh, I think they pretty much made a profit since then. Just looking at these numbers, last year they made 11, not 11, 118 million euros from these fees alone. If you put the 47, I believe, or 57 million they originally said they made from the resort, that's quite a lot of money. That's almost $200 million for Disneyland Paris. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And certainly it's not because they weren't investing. Certainly it's probably one of the heavier years of Disneyland Paris investment. Project Sparkle, the Walt Disney Studios expansion, to be showing a profit is certainly something that sticks
Yeah,
out,
for sure.
especially when the resort is apparently cash strapped.
hmm Yeah, Avengers Campus always opened last year, which I believe had something to do with the whole profit, but mostly I believe the prices, which have been getting higher and higher. That's also been one of the bigger reasons, I believe. So
Now the next, yeah, the next thing we need to take into consideration though is what does that actually mean for Disneyland Paris? So if Disneyland Paris is suddenly making money, what can we expect to see in the future? Now, usefully, I don't even need to do any work here because you're going to tell us you've done a video on What If. Again, one of your most successful videos. Tell us about it.
that's true. So last week, not last week, 2 weeks ago, I made a video about the what if Disneyland Paris or Hero Disneyland had been a success, which was very well received. I really enjoyed making it as well. Um, and there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that would have happened, from new
But
attractions in the Disneyland park to the Walt Disney Studios not being created, but Disney MGM Studios Europe, to a third park based on the canceled WestCot for California. So there's a lot.
there was two things that really stuck out to me. Number one was the water park because I think
Oh
that
yeah.
is. I mean, I think Universal have just stole that. Volcano Bay. If you want to know what the water park at Disneyland Paris was going to be, you just really need to go and look at a map of Volcano Bay, and then you absolutely know
Yeah.
what it was
So
going to
yeah,
be.
it was going to be called Lava Lagoon, and it was this mix of an indoor and outdoor water park. It was just perfect for Paris, to be honest. But what's funny, you mentioned what's the name of the Volcano Bay? You mentioned Volcano Bay and how it compares to this cancelled water park. What's
Yeah.
funny is that the lead Imagineer on that project ended up working for Universal, and he was the lead creative person behind um, Volcano Bay, so it makes
This
sense,
man
to be
really
honest.
just this man or woman really just wanted to open a volcano themed water park. There was
Yeah,
it didn't really matter who was bankrolling it. They were just happy to be doing that, I suppose.
yeah, that's completely true. I
The
believe
second
his name
thing,
is Theory Coop. Not sure.
well, that's him being flung under the bus. Um, if Disney and Universal didn't know who he was now, we've got Bernardo here's hunted him out. Now the next thing I wanted to throw out was you covered WestCot. Do you want to, just because the podcast, let's not assume everybody's seen your video, although more people see your video than the podcast, but what was the theme behind WestCot? What was the plan there?
Yeah, sure. So WestCot was the second theme park that was going to be built in Disneyland in California. It was pretty much the next level Epcot Center. You would have the two main zones, the World Showcase and Future World. Um, but it would just completely be a new experience compared to Epcot. It would just pretty much upgrade the guest experience. You'd have a massive spaceship Earth, in just in the World Showcase. You wouldn't have different countries. You'd have areas of the world. So you'd have
They were more
Asia.
continents rather than
Yeah,
countries.
yeah, continents. Yeah, you would have Asia, Europe, the Americas, and Africa. So, unfortunately, it never came to fruition in, well, neither California nor Paris, but it was going to be built as a third park here in Paris.
The one thing that's kind of strange about it is a lot of people say Europeans are a little bit more travelled, and certainly Europe is, I don't know the precise geography, but certainly Europe and America are very similar sizes. North America is similar size. I say that without any geographical knowledge that backs me up on that, but certainly there would probably I can't imagine there's very many German tourists are coming to France to see Germany in France Cot or Paris Cot or whatever it's called. And certainly I don't think that would be as novel as they think. But I think if we done it on continents, you certainly have a lot more variety, and it
Yeah,
allows a lot
exactly.
more mashups that maybe don't exist in real life, but could exist
Mhm.
in this virtual space. So
Exactly.
I think that's
It,
very
it would,
interesting that it was coming.
yeah, it would pretty much fit the Paris resort very well.
And we also know where it was going to get built. We also know, I mean, it shouldn't get built where they're going to build it, but it was going to be built up across the road from the Sequoia Lodge. There's a parcel of land
The
up
water
there.
park. Yeah, behind the water park, a new resort hotel, there would be WestCot. And of course, linking the whole resort, the infamous monorail would also be present, which is something I would really love to have in Paris.
The only
So,
problem is, I mean, Paris has an option. Paris has an option to not need any of that. You could build the third park in the car park, and then you could
yeah, that's
walk between
true.
the entrances of all three. I don't know why that's never taken seriously as an option, because it seems quite a good idea on the face of like not needing monorails and not needing skyliners and not needing, it's
That's true.
it's a
I don't think it would make more sense if that plan had become a reality, because you'd have that whole new European themed hotel area. So with that, the resort would just be much bigger. Um, and spreading the theme parks around, I think, would make more sense, to be honest.
well, I suppose it's in conjunction with the fact that Walt Disney Studios was always built. One of the big costs when you start a new park is you need an awful lot of back of house and
Hmm.
non-shared infrastructure. So there's certainly elements to run a theme park that the back of house infrastructure. And Walt Disney Studios was always designed cheaply, as we know and we covered in the last podcast.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that was built right next door to Disneyland Paris, the front door, was back because you could share infrastructure. Some of the back of house is shared between Walt Disney Studios and DLP, the Magic Kingdom park.
Yeah, for sure.
So that leads us on. We had a bit of speculation as well, and I think we've seen from Jim Shaw. There's a little bit of speculation online just now that Disneyland Paris is doing very well, and certainly It has a plan and it has space as expansion pads for both the main park and the studios park. We've covered to death on this podcast, and we've covered to death on Discord the idea of the Star Wars expansion that might be coming to Disneyland Paris, and we've covered to death the various lands we might get in Walt Disney Studios. I think it's all but now confirmed that the stunt show, the BMX stunt show, is now Alice in Wonderland. That's fairly confirmed now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm still trying to wrap my mind about it. But I'm hopeful that it will be.
I mean, I'm always hopeful that everything we get is going to be good. It just seems a really odd addition. Here's Alice in Wonderland right next to the Avengers campus. Alice is now an Avenger. Don't quite get it, but that's what we're going with. So we've moved on from that, and I've started to see a spike in rumours, and I should say these are rumours and speculations from people. Disney have certainly said nothing of the sort. I'm starting to see rumours of a fifth gate in Orlando. And I don't know if that's just because certain people are very, very upset that Disneyland Paris is certainly getting all these expansions, and then Disneyland in California is also, we've covered the expansions that they're getting there in their future projects.
Disneyland Forward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of Orlando people a bit peeved now that there doesn't seem to be too much on the horizon for Walt Disney World. So I've started to see the rumours of that fifth park. They seem to be circulating online now, which...
As I've said previously, I do think that's a bit more of wishful thinking, more than rumors, like actual rumors. But
I think there will be a fifth park, but I think it won't be in this. It won't be in the sense of a theme park. Like, think of it like being Discovery Cove to SeaWorld. Like, I think it's going to be some sort of premium park. I don't think it's going to be a theme park how we imagine it. I could be wrong here, but I think it's going to be something different.
That's interesting, actually.
That said, everything premium they've ever done seems to fail. So the Space Restaurant isn't doing so well. You can still get reservations for that. The Galaxy Star Cruiser is now cancelled and is doing its last voyages. So yeah, I'm not too sure. One thing I did see. So I'm going to Orlando at the end of August. And one of the things I seen was we were looking at what was it we were booking? We booked Rodeo Barbecue, which if anybody knows, like Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue or whatever the hell it's called. It's got too many names.
Oh yeah, the new restaurant in Toy Story. Yeah.
So we've got a reservation there, which wasn't actually as hard to get as I thought it was going to be. So we got the reservation for there. One of the questions I do have is, it seems to be, it puts itself as a table service sort of thing, but I don't think it is. It's more like a family style, not a buffet, but one serving buffet, if that makes sense. They bring it to your table and you just get it. The one question I do have, though, is can you change some of the meats that are on the platter? Because, I was looking at it, I was like, oh God, I don't want to eat some of that stuff. So I'd love to know if you can substitute things. So if anybody knows that, please drop a comment, because that would be wonderful to know. But a lot of the premium restaurants are not filling up now. A lot of their premium hotel didn't work out too well. One of the things they're offering while we were booking that restaurant, and this was my original point, sorry for going on a tangent, was that you can do a dessert party now on the Seven Seas Lagoon. And you can sit now.
Really?
Yeah. You can do a dessert party, and I think it's 114 or 140. That number rings a bell. 140 or 114. And you can go on a boat, and you can watch the fireworks, obviously with the music played for you, and you can eat desserts. And it's got a little video online and stuff. And it looks really good. Don't get me wrong, it looks really good. But I thought it was going to be like, one of the little boats that go around the Seven Seas Lagoon. The little I don't know, the ones that look as though they hold 10 or 15, maybe 20 people.
Yeah.
No. This is held on the general steamer, the paddle steamer that takes you to the park.
Oh, really? From the parking lot to the Magic Kingdom. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they've obviously got three. They've got three of them, So two of them must just keep working, or one of them just keeps working away, and then two of them sort of sit to the side and watch the fireworks. They put little tables out for you. So
Oh well.
it looks really good, but it's one of those really expensive things that kind of. I mean, are you going to eat 100? I need to check the price. Somebody's going to have to tell me the price, but it's like 140. Let's say it's 114 at best. 100. Are you honestly going to eat $114 worth of desserts? I mean, could you? I mean, you would have to not eat all day just to try and get your money's worth. I'd think.
But is it like a buffet or just is it
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's a dessert buffet. It's a
oh
dessert.
okay,
You
wow.
know, I think it includes one
Well.
alcoholic drink as well, which I have a theory is probably just a glass of champagne. Um, but I thought that was quite funny. They've got the little dessert party, very expensive. But again, these are not fully booked, so it tells us that Disney is not its premium offerings are not doing as well as perhaps like, and that's probably why we've seen the resumption of annual passes, and the Disney dining
Mm,
plan is now back in Orlando.
that's true. Like just a
So
couple of weeks ago. Yeah, yeah.
So, I think it's probably premature to be talking fifth parks when they can't fill the current one.
Oh, and
Um,
have you seen the, a couple of days ago was the 4th of July. Did you see the wait times? They were ridiculous. There was nobody in the parks. It
oh,
was
really?
crazy.
What were the wait
Yes.
times?
The wait time, no, it was, well, let me see. I think WDW News Today, they cover that on, I mean, they cover everything. So
Yeah,
they
I
cover that
mean,
on so, and yeah, it
they're
was
better staffed than my local
ridiculous.
newspaper.
Let me see if
Um,
I,
just in the background while Bernardo's looking it up, guys. One of one of the interesting things that we're seeing is America economically is doing quite well compared to most of the world. So there's a bit of currency squeeze on just now, and I think obviously double-digit inflation's hit a good number of people. So there's a lot less travelers going to Disney. So Disney kind of has to be competitive. It's a real worry, I'd think, for Epic Universe as well just now that they're about to open this brand new park. Will there be enough people and will there be enough money to kind of throw into the parks to make it work? So a lot of money has been spent in Orlando, and I think this is probably going to be one of the times when the budgets get reeled in a bit. One thing I should say though, one thing that we should probably identify is that Disney Plus is not doing as well as they had hoped, and the Disney movies are not doing as well as Disney had hoped. I think there's some rumor that like Indiana Jones won't even make back its budget. So I mean, if we get in that random situation, Disney are going to be looking for things that do turn profit, and as we know,
parks, yeah.
the
The parks
parks.
always turn profit.
So it's a safe investment. What
Yeah,
what have
so
you
I
found
have
on wait times? Here we go.
the here, yeah. So this was Blog Mickey actually, and was it the middle of the day? So in studios, you've got Toy Story Mania with 20 minutes, Tower of Terror with 20 minutes, Rise of the Resistance with 30 minutes of wait time. Rise of the Resistance, 30 minutes in the middle of the day. Yeah. And then in Epcot, you have Soarin' with 20 minutes, um, Mission Space 20 minutes, Remy's okay 65 minutes, but come on, it's a new ride. And then obviously Animal Kingdom, the Safaris 15 minutes, Avatar 70. Okay, oof. But still, I saw a lot of people.
Avatar was probably down. It always is.
Yeah, probably because of Genie Plus problems and stuff like that. But it,
Yeah.
it was I think I saw it was the slowest 4th of July in the last 10 years in
That
Disney
doesn't
World.
surprise. That doesn't surprise me because if you tell everybody it's going to be rammed, it's going to be busy, it's going to be busy, it's going to be busy, some people eventually do just stay home.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was also a thunderstorm. It's worth noting that Orlando on the 4th of July was
Oh,
in HUD,
really?
you know.
I didn't
It
see
was,
that.
hmm it was, they actually emptied Disney Springs. Um,
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They pushed a bunch of people out. So Orlando, O Town was under a lot of water, and certainly was under a thunderstorm and heavy rain and wind. So that might have had a little bit to do with it. We don't always take that into consideration, I guess. I only know that because my parents were there. They were physically out over the 4th
Oh,
of July
God.
last week, so
Mm.
they told me that they were at Disney Springs during the day and said that there was, a lot of inclement weather.
Yeah.
But the general point is right. It's not as busy. It's genuinely not as busy as it used to be, and Disney have still got a few more tricks they can play.
Oh,
They
yeah,
can
for sure.
certainly do better hotel deals, I think, to try and coax some more tourists in.
Discounts, packages. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot they could do. So
Yeah, it's not like Walt Disney World isn't turning a profit, okay?
yeah,
That
yeah,
won't happen for a long time.
it's definitely going to get its money in. So we've seen a bit more from Epic Universe as well. I don't know if you've been watching. Some of the roller coaster tracks have been
They
bio
look
reconstruct, and
absolutely amazing
they
when you
do,
just
don't
say
they?
that. Yes. I'm so thrilled
The
for Epic Universe.
I really hope I forget the word. What is it? It's like competition roller coasters. The
Oh,
ones
the
that
dueling coasters.
the dueling coaster. That's it. I really hope the dueling coaster goes well because they had the dueling coasters at Islands Adventure and then obviously took them out for
Yeah.
Hagrid's. But the truth is, like a dueling coaster is just fantastic. Like the experience is second to
Hmm.
nothing, and
Yeah.
they look so twisty and turny, and I don't think they're going for the tallest drop. I think they're going for the most, like Velocicoaster. They're going for probably the
Yeah,
better
yeah.
experience.
No,
So,
they look absolutely amazing. The dueling coasters are, I mean, just amazing. I don't have any other word.
so what do you think is next for Disney in Orlando?
Oof. I'm not sure actually. Because with Epic Universe, I think that Disney's pretty much waiting to see how Epic Universe turns out and how it will affect them. Because if you see in the pipeline for the next couple of years, I believe the only new things is the completion of Epcot, the center that's a mess for the past 4 years.
Yep. And then
Um,
the Beyond Thunder Mountain.
yeah, but that's just blue sky. There's not even any rides. So actual rides, actual projects that we only have Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Epcot. So that's pretty sad of a lineup for the next I don't know how many years.
Given that there are 4 theme parks, it's dire. Like it's not very exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Disney are waiting for.
Of course.
That said,
Yeah,
one
sure.
of the other tricks you could do is if you waited for Epic Universe, you could, of course. Oh, there's a good point in the chat actually. Mickey Mouse of all names has said, "What about the Animal Kingdom, Dinoland to Moana and Zootopia?" Yeah,
Yes,
that's pretty
that's
much
right.
that's true. That
But
is coming.
that is coming, but it was also said or announced during the Blue Sky Idea session that Josh Damaro had on the D23 Expo. So while I believe that between that and the Beyond Thunder, Big Thunder Mountain expansions, I do think that Animal Kingdom will be getting that first, just because of how developed the concepts looked. But even so, they didn't announce it. They just said, "What if we built a Moana ride with Zootopia in Animal Kingdom? What if you went beyond Big Thunder Mountain?" So it's not really an announcement, you know. But
I
good
think
call
one of the other,
by Mickey.
I think one of the other things though is there's no capital in announcing small projects just now. There's nothing that they gain by saying we're going to build 1 or 2 extra attractions versus Epic Universe. They're going to get drowned out. So it might be that they're waiting for Epic Universe to open so they can talk about the next 10 years of Disney.
Yeah, that's true. Um, but I mean, Epic Universe is opening in 2035, so it's just around the corner. So Disney could definitely be waiting to see how it turns out and how it affects their business, their hotels, because Epic Universe is also getting a bunch of new hotels. So yeah, I do agree with you.
The other thing is Bob Iger didn't come back Bob Iger did not come back to kind of steady the ship only. He came back to do a job. And he's obviously got some plans that he wants to announce. And, he's a showman. So he'll know that showing your cards too early is not a good thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I saw some tweets, some rumors that actually I think it was today that Bob Iger might be looking into extending his contract. So I think
that
we can
won't be a shock.
expect. Yeah, I think we can expect at least a couple more years from Iger. Um, I don't know what will come from them, but I mean, if he doesn't want to leave Disney yet, I might be willing to stay with him for a bit longer.
The other thing is there's nobody stepped up. There's no heir apparent. There's no successor in the wing. There's nobody standing there and waiting.
Yeah, it's
There's no.
I don't know because the big thing that he was going to do when he came back supposedly was to find the next CEO, a better CEO than what was it, Chapek. So, and as Miki said in the chat, I don't think tomorrow will be a great choice for a CEO. And I agree, by the way. He's not a very creative person from the looks of it. He's a showman, just like Iger, but not a very creative person. And I think that Disney really needs a big creative person in charge right now, or maybe a duo like you had with Walt and Roy, or with Eisner and Wells. I think that duo kind of situation would be really, really, really great for Disney right now.
And there was the rumor that
Mm.
Disney was going to get bought,
By
which there's
who?
only. Well, there's only really Apple. Nobody else has the money.
Yeah.
um,
I don't really like that, to
I
be
don't
honest.
put I don't put a lot of stock in it either, and I think Disney needs to be its own company. I don't think Apple is terribly interested in consumer,
Mm-hmm.
endpoints. And I know they've got Apple
Yeah.
TV Plus, but I can't see them being too interested in being the juggernaut of the entertainment world.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Um,
Apple and Disney, they've always partnered.
yeah,
Just look at
the
the new glasses. They had a big segment just by Disney. But I think it will remain that way. I don't think they will merge in any way.
I like the chat and the chat saying "I Disneyland." I quite like that because that might be what they're thinking. How can we get away with actions? I know, put it in the headset. I don't know. And then Bernix has got, what about DLP's last president? So I presume he means Catherine Powell, who
Yeah.
is at Airbnb just now. And
I mean, yeah.
Catherine loved Disney. Catherine was fantastic. She was really good when she was at Disneyland Paris. I had a lot of time there. But then I think a lot of people quite like Natasha. I think, given other than the strikes, there's not really any. There's no negativity there other than the whole strike thing, is there?
I don't think so. Yeah, but between both, I do kind of like Catherine a bit better. I do think that Natasha is a bit shy, and she doesn't, she's not a show woman, as you were saying with Iger. That isn't
No.
necessarily bad.
Well, she went to the White House. She leads France's
Yeah,
task
that's
force.
true.
She's at most of the fan events as well. So you've got to give her
It's
some credit in the sense that she. But I know what you mean. She doesn't have the stage presence of Catherine Powell or
Yeah,
anything. I get
yeah,
that. But I think both of them have been very good for Disneyland Paris. I think the two of them have been very, very good for Disneyland Paris.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know if they give them global control though. I just don't think they would see. I don't know. Maybe, but
Yeah,
I doubt it.
yeah, and I don't think Powell will return. To be honest, Disney wasn't kind to her. Chapek wasn't kind to her. He pretty much saw her, from what I've heard, he pretty much saw her as competition and just pushed her out of the way. which isn't something very nice to do. Um,
No.
so I don't know.
Hmm. So, do we think that Walt Disney Studios in Paris would ever get the Tower of Terror Guardians retheme that California did? I think we probably will get it, but I really don't think we'll get the same version as California. And I think that if we did, people would notice how much cheaper our overlay would be. Because California, I mean, people love Mission Breakout,
Yeah.
but I don't think it ever got the. I mean, the cost of it was almost like a brand new attraction. I don't think they ever got the sort of return on investment that they would have hoped
Mhm.
for. I mean, in California, where you're pressed for space, it makes sense to have if you're only going to have 50 attractions, they try and have the 50 best attractions they can possibly have. Whereas in
Yeah, for
Paris,
sure.
I think in Paris, if you were going to add, if you're talking about Walt Disney Studios, are you going to spend, 60 million doing over a ride you already have? Or are you going to build a new 60 million pound attraction?
Yeah, exactly. Just like Bernix said, I hope not, because the new area, the theater district, pretty much relies on that on Tower of Terror. Because if
Well,
you
that
see
that
the theater
basically
district,
confirms that it's going away.
yeah,
If
well,
we're relying on it, there we go. The deal is done to ruin it.
yeah. But without it, it's just sad. There's no other ride. You have both theaters and, Studio One, but those are not rides. It needs that to pull guests, at least in my opinion. And our Avengers Campus already has two rides, so I don't think it's a necessity. I don't know.
The other,
Could be wrong
no, I
though.
don't think. I don't think so. I think the Alice in Wonderland thing is surprising.
Yeah, but that's
And
temporary. That's
yeah,
that's
well, I'm hoping we're going to get a Marvel stunt show out there. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
It's in the right area. It fits
I mean,
quite well.
it's also the perfect spot for an Avengers Campus expansion, which I do
Hmm.
think will eventually happen. A new ride. Uh,
Yeah, but they're
but
not going.
it's
I mean,
just
that theater costs so much to build. Again, they've got plenty of space they could throw rides in. I don't think. I think we're going to get a
yeah.
stunt
I,
show.
I don't
I mean,
know.
look at all the money we spent. How much? In fact, I don't know, but we spent all that money getting the Avengers show that was in Studio Theatre. It wasn't very good, but we spent all that money getting that technical show,
Hmm.
and then it got ripped out after a year or two, and it was kind of discarded. So I can only think that they like the idea of Marvel Stunt Show. And it was all rammed, like even though it wasn't very good, it was always full. Um,
Hmm.
so I definitely think we're gonna see a Marvel Stunt
You
Show.
know,
They've got a theatre
I mean,
outside. Marvel and stunts
yeah.
just go together,
I completely agree
and
with
then
you. I think they need to do one, but
so I think
eventually, when the studio's expansions are close to completion, you have all the lands around the lake. Eventually, a new ride will probably be built there. It's just real good, a real good
yeah,
spot for one.
it is. It takes up a lot of prime space. I suppose you're right. Um, but that's the other thing we're getting. We're getting the what is it? Pixar Pals Together now, or some show? What is it?
Yes, I think it's just together a Pixar show or something like that.
Yeah. Let me go on and get the name of it. So, disclaimer. Although I'm not sure how much a disclaimer is. I was invited to go and see it, but I am not there, so I am busy, so I'll not be able to go. And Bernardo was invited, but he is also busy, so he'll not be going.
Mm.
So I don't know why we're podcasters, given the fact we know absolutely bubkiss. But anyway, here's our opinion. Anyway, so it's called Together, a Pixar musical adventure,
That's
and the invite 70 inside ears with the person of their choice to attend a preview show before its first public performance. And the preview will take place on Thursday, July 13th at
just next
1
week.
1:20 p.m. By the way, I should probably have checked this wasn't embargoed before I started reading it. But now that I've announced it, that's what it's going to be. I would imagine when they say before the first public show, I'd imagine the first public show is probably on the 13th as well, probably about 4 o'clock.
No, I don't think so. It's actually, I think it's on the 15th, 2 days after.
Yeah, it'll soft open.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, when we done Ratatouille, when we opened Ratatouille, it soft opened about 4 hours after we got to see it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so I think there's a good chance you're seeing that show if you're there on the 13th, I'd say. I mean, Disneyland Paris are probably very annoyed that I've just announced the date. But anyway. So yeah, this is apparently going to be not a permanent addition to the theatre, but it's certainly, with the amount of advertising that's gone into it and the amount of sort of build-up that's gone into it and the fact it's taken about 9 months to put the show together, I would think this one's staying for a little while.
Yeah, I think so. And it looks good as well. Have you seen the first images that came out from
Yeah,
the...
it looks,
Yeah.
I think we get Rex as a character for the first time. I think that was what people were saying, is Rex as a character for the first time. So I don't think the show's going to go anywhere very quick. I think we're probably going to have that show for a little while.
Yeah, so,
We just need
if
to
it's
see
a good
how.
show.
Well, if it's a good show, it could be absolutely dreadful. It'll probably be seasonal, I'd think, just because, the Lion King show
Yeah,
is
you
also
have...
seasonal.
Yeah, and you have Mickey and the Magician also in the same park. So
Yeah.
they could maybe, have a mix of both.
And you've got Disney Dream nonsense. What is it? Disney Junior Dream. I can't remember the show now.
Oh, the Dream Factory.
That's it. I've only ever seen it once.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Well, if you think you're going to have an Alice in Wonder at the same time, you're going to have Disney Dream Factory, Alice in Wonderland, Mickey and the Magician, and Pixar together. So,
well, we don't have new rides, but we have new shows. So,
but we're going to have 4.
Can we really complain?
We're going to have all 4. Plus, you've got the whole Avengers thing. Do the
little stunt shows. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You're talking almost 5 shows in Disney, and there's Bernix just jumped in the chat to say that. But yeah, you're going to have 5 shows a day. That's quite a lot. That keeps you kind of busy.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the most. I think. I'm trying to think what else maybe has 5 shows.
Well, I don't know.
Well, Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios has the Indiana Stunt Show. It has the Citizens of Hollywood. It has Fantasmic. It has. Does it still have Beauty and the Beast? Or is it Frozen?
Frozen? Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast as well. I think so. Yeah.
And Frozen. So that's 5 as well. So
Studios also has a Frozen in Art of Animation. You forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, so it does. So 6.
Yeah.
God, we've got show. I mean, well, the thing is, there goes anybody that says it's not a full day park. You're now a liar, because the shows by the time you queue up, see them, and then go to the toilet after them, there's an hour each, so you're at 6 hours. And as long as you do 2 rides, you're probably knocking on 7-8 hours. There you go. It's a full day park.
Yeah.
There you go. They've decided before it's before the lake comes. Plus, you're going to have a very long walk around the lake shortly, because there's only one land. Like this lake, like the image. I think one of the biggest problems they've got is they announced all these places around the lake, and that all these places around the lake don't exist. So when people go and they're going to be like, "Oh, what's around the lake?" It's going to be there's quite literally just frozen land.
You can see Frozen getting bigger and bigger for the.
Which only has one ride.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I get that this is the start, but I tell you what, it's a wee bit. Imagine they had built Epcot's lake, and there was, mind you, there kind of is. Epcot's lake's kind of tragic too for rides, because once you get if you go round on the right hand side and you walk up through Canada, there's a circle vision thing in Canada that's dreadful. There's nothing in the UK. You're
Yeah.
then into France, where they now have Ratatouille, but never had it for years.
Hey,
You
but
know,
you had
since
the impressions of France as well in France.
that was dreadful.
Little little.
That wasn't an attraction. No child went into that and thought that was. I remember the O Canada one because people singing O Canada on Canadian horses or
Mhm.
something. Dreadful. American Adventure, which is an amusing. I mean, it's kind of funny
Oh, I
because
like.
obviously I like the American Adventure too. I love the show, but
Yeah.
obviously I'm Scottish or British or what. So we've kind of been taught history slightly differently. Perceive it.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
American, sure.
yeah, like they skip
It is
over.
American adventure show, so
Yeah,
you know.
it's kind of like, oh, there was a civil war. It was pretty bad. It ended quite quickly. Moving on. Do you know what I mean? Like they see that and then it takes until you get round Frozen in the Norwegian pavilion that's kind of pushed in the
Mhm.
corner. Like I feel bad. Like Frozen has been done dirty for how big a property Frozen is. How much children to be that ridiculous little boat ride in Norway is just kind of farcical.
Yeah,
And then there's
and did
the
that as
three.
quickly as possible to capitalize on the IP. So
Yeah, it just wasn't good. It was not good. So I don't know. I mean,
I mean,
Disney.
we are it's a very similar ride in Paris and in Hong Kong. So
Yeah,
yeah, well,
that's only because I think fans would probably demand better in Florida if they found out that everywhere else got a better Frozen ride. Like I think the level of upset would be so great. Um,
yeah, I think so.
so we're getting a Frozen ride and we're getting a meet and greet, and we're getting a shop, and I'm pretty sure we'll end up at a restaurant as well because it's France. Everything needs a restaurant. Um,
Yeah, I think it's a
it'll be
restaurant. There's a shop, the Frozen ride, and the meet and greet area, right?
yeah, but they need to open more restaurants in France because when was the last time you tried to get a reservation more than less than 30 days? Have you tried?
Uh, to get a reservation. Yeah, I actually try on the day. Sometimes people just cancel and I can get one. So
No, but
it's
a week in
okay.
advance, 2 weeks in advance, you've no chance.
Oh
Everything's
yeah,
gone.
for the big ones, yeah. If you have like the steakhouse in Frontierland that nobody goes to,
Hmm.
and a couple more, but other than that,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
yeah. There's nothing to eat at. I mean, that's one of the oddest things in Disney. The thing that I always find really odd is that I quite like go at the Sequoia Lodge, and you can count all the time that you go to the Sequoia Lodge. Go, I don't even know what it's called. You've got two opposing restaurants, but one of them is always closed, and the other one's always got a queue out. I always think how
Yeah,
much more opened
I,
the
yeah.
restaurants.
It's 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 a pretty strange configuration for sure.
It is a very odd setup. You've got the problem in America that they're struggling to fill all these premium restaurants, and in France we just don't have enough of them. People apparently just want to sit and eat. That's all anybody wants
Yeah.
to do in France. And now we've got 3 shows where you can't be sitting and eating because you're watching a show. Uh, so we've kind of covered DLP and its expansion. We've spoken about Disney World and how the sort of mess it's in. Epic Universe is due to open. Is the next big sort of thing coming to Orlando,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to think the other topics that we've are the Universal's Mediterranean route, but that there's not been much on that, has there? Quiet on that.
Yeah, that's true. The rumor mill has been a bit quiet. The public rumor mill, I'll say it like that. I've been hearing a lot of stuff that I just can't confirm,
Mm,
but because I don't have the information necessary to do that.
yeah.
But if just half of that stuff that I have been hearing is true, um, it won't be how can I say this? It will be okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
things will be fine. I'll just
The
say
other
like
one,
this.
the other one, I think there's a rumor online that Benidorm's Terra Mythica owner is putting their park up for sale.
I mean, Terra Mythica is an awful park. It's a dreadful park when compared to Portaventura,
Yes.
or most other parks in Europe. It's just, I mean, it's like a fun park if you're in the beach and you just want to, go ride a couple of coasters. But it's a complete mess. The park has been divided into two, I believe. Some
Yep.
part opens very seasonally, and you actually pay per ride, and the other part is an actual park where you only pay the entrance, and then you can just join the queues.
So
Um,
it seems quite likely that rumor could have some truth to it then, that they're
I don't
getting
think
to
so
the
because
end.
it's just so small. There's no room to expand. It's, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think Universal wants to even, put their hands on a park like that.
Oh,
It's just,
I wasn't thinking Universal.
oh,
I was thinking Merlin or Lego.
oh, okay, okay. Okay,
I
that's
was
interesting.
thinking one of
Thought you were thinking about Universal.
Well, no, no,
So
no.
that,
I was thinking because if you look at Merlin, they don't have that many European parks.
yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I could see that happen actually.
I don't know. I mean, this is not even rumored. It's just I'm speculating that if they're going to sell it, there's not that many people that are going to buy large theme parks. And
Yeah,
Terramectica is maybe not large, but it's larger than it's going to cost a little bit to buy that park.
yeah, I could see that happen actually. Uh, I mean, Merlin, they have how mmany parks do they have? They have,
Oh,
I think
Merlin
they're
have
the biggest.
loads.
I think they're the biggest theme park operator in terms
Let
of
me.
theme
They
parks.
are but they include everything. Let me look up Merlin attractions. I mean, they're
Isn't Legoland
huge.
theirs as well?
Is it? Is it not kind of like coned? I think it's
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I could see that happen
So Legoland. I think Legoland is co-owned. Yeah.
by
So
Merlin.
well, they're not owned by Merlin. They're owned, but they're also not fully owned. They share a common owner,
Mm,
which is
right.
Kirk BAS. No idea.
I have
But
no clue.
I think it's basically a strategic partnership that says like Lego have
Hmm.
no idea how to run a theme park, so you
Yeah,
help us out with that.
so
So
they basically operate.
let's look at yeah. So if you look at Merlin, so the stuff that we'd notice are the UK resorts, which are Alton Towers and Thorpe Park and Chessington World of Adventures.
Mhm.
And then in Europe, for the theme parks, they've got Gardaland, which is in Italy, and they've got Heidi Park, which is in Germany. Um, they're both obviously actual theme parks. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got 10 Legolands, 2
Oh,
Peppa Pigs,
oh,
and then
yeah,
the
the Peppa
rest,
Pig.
and then the
Yeah.
rest are not, they're not theme parks, but they're things like Sea Life, like the Sea Life Centre in Val
Oh,
d'Europe.
they own. Yeah, yeah. That's it. The one
Yeah.
in Disneyland Paris. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if they own that one. It's not on the list. Is it on the list? They
Thought
do. I think they do. I think
yeah,
they do own it.
I think so.
Um, yeah, I think they do. So they've got stuff like that. So if you notice when we're talking about that, they've got Plan, Legoland, Sichuan, Beijing, Shenzhen, and Belgium. So other than kind of apparently in 2020, Belgium, um, I think the big thing here is there's no Spanish. There's no. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's no Spanish resort in any of this.
Yeah, that's true.
It just seems like I don't know. It just seems like there's an opportunity for them.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. But if you think about it, Spanish theme parks, the only Spanish theme park that does turn a profit is PortAventura. All of the
Yeah.
others just don't.
Yeah. And if PortAventura's tied up with the Universal group or the Comcast group,
Hmm.
then, Merlin would have to look somewhere else to get their Spanish fix. Although they've done fine without it, so
Yeah,
conceivably it's not something they'd have to do. But it did seem to me, if you look at Spanish theme parks, Terra Mythica was certainly the one that stood out as still, privately owned.
yeah. I don't know who owns Terra Mítica actually. Let
Shall we
me.
look at this? I can hear you clicking in the background to look it up, so I'm going to leave it to you to
Yeah, yeah.
come up
Let
with
me.
who the owner is. This is us doing live on the podcast some serious results. By the way, you better watch out, guys, because if Bernardo stumbles on something, he's likely to make a video based on what we found tonight. So you've got to live with that. There's
Okay,
Park
so
Warner in Madrid. Park Warner.
yeah.
Um,
So
so there's that.
just to finish, Terra Mítica,
Here he comes.
it's owned by a joint venture between Aqualandia and Mundomar. Aqualandia
Yeah,
is a water park located in Benidorm, so just by Terra Mítica, and
it's also
Mundomar
dreadful.
is a it's an animal theme park also located in Benidorm.
Oh
So,
no! It's saying here that Terra Mythica has a deal with Paramount.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
It is, isn't it? Paramount Parks. I
It's
don't know if
really
they're just.
interesting.
It is because I don't think Paramount's got long left to live either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you've got Paramount, which is Canada's Wonderland, Carowinds, Great America,
Mm,
and
interesting.
Terra Mythica, which still sits as a really strange one. But and they obviously shut down the Paramount parks and gave them to Cedar Fair, if you remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's interesting that it was listed under a Paramount park. I mean, historically, because it suggests that they're not adverse to being owned by a theme park operator rather than Aqualandia, which is obviously its own little company. It's very, very interesting. As I say, we've spent far too long discussing something that may be absolutely nothing. And Terra Mythica is certainly not on the level of DLP or anything, but it's always good to have a little think about what's happening in the wider sort of context, so we understand what environment Disney is operating in. I mean, we do call this the Discord podcast, but I think we cover literally any theme park. I mean, if somebody goes to Blackpool Pleasure Beach for the weekend, feel free to discuss it. I'm quite
Oh yeah,
happy.
sure.
Like, totally cool for
Yeah.
that. So we've got a couple of ideas there. And I'm still convinced that Universal will buy SeaWorld in Orlando, and we'll have the
Hmm.
Epic Universe. I'm convinced. I'm honestly convinced within a
Oh yeah,
year, 2 years.
about that, the SeaWorld. I forgot about something that I wanted to share last time, which is that
Oh,
Universal actually it's not about SeaWorld, but it's about the fourth Universal Park in Orlando. Um, Pretty much they have the lands they bought for Epic Universe is pretty much doubles the
the
total area
footprint.
of Universal. Yeah. So and they have a whole lot more land to fill in. We're talking about, enough space for new hotels and a new theme park. The size of almost Epic Universe, which is a ginormous theme park.
Yeah.
So they could easily have four theme parks built by them, not SeaWorld, in the next decade or so,
Hmm.
15 years, because they definitely have the land, and Comcast definitely has the money. So, just something to think about.
It is a terribly exciting time in the sense that you just don't know what's going to happen. The reason I thought they'd buy SeaWorld is not too much to do with land or anything, but more just if you wanted to kind of square up against Disney properly and say, we've got 4 parks, you've got 4 parks. The easiest way to do it is not actually to build your extra park. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
to,
for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just to, point to it and say this is it. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. There's a lot of space. There is a lot of space that's been carved
Yeah.
out for.
Hmm.
By the way, there's a massive traffic jam on the I4 just now.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's good to know. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you could fit the entire current Universal Resort into about half of the Epic Universe plot.
No,
That's
it's
scary.
absolutely enormous.
That is kind of scary.
Bernix, he said that Portugal, but I might be a bit biased. Yeah,
Portugal would be
we don't talk.
wonderful.
We don't. We don't talk about Portugal in theme parks. Sorry, I just can't do that right now. So,
Why
but
can you
thank you.
not do that? What's
Oh, it's
upsetting you?
so sad. There's nothing, absolutely nothing at all. But yeah, I really don't want to
We
get
have
into
no,
that.
we have absolutely nothing in Scotland. I mean, we have this ridiculous little, couple of rides
Yeah,
that calls itself a theme park, but we don't have a theme park either.
yeah,
You've got to try.
it's really
I mean,
sad.
oddly, it's quicker for me to get to Disneyland Paris than it is for me to get to Alton Towers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Disneyland Paris and it's probably cheaper too. Um, I can get.
Disney did a good job with choosing the perfect location. They just, you know, it was a bumpy start, but it's pretty much central, and it's perfect for a lot of people to get to.
If anybody's wondering how big Epic Universe could be, the plot of land it's on, you could fit 3 or 4.
You broke up a little bit. I didn't
Sorry.
quite hear
If
you.
anybody wonders how big Epic Universe, the land plot they're on, is,
Mhm.
you could fit Epcot in there about 3 or 4 times.
Oh wow,
Like, it's
wow,
massive.
yeah,
I mean,
wow.
Epcot's big, but it's big. I mean, they're not going to use all that space. They are doing so there's no, it's not a multi-story lot, it's a single lot for the cars. So, they've certainly allowed a little bit of cheapness
Yeah,
to crawl in.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think Universal will definitely be huge. I mean, they're already huge, but it's going to be a game changer actually. That's,
yeah. If anybody wants invited to the opening of Epic Universe, I'd suggest just now setting yourself up as a blog or something online, because I think Universal will probably invite the online theme park world to come and preview this park, because a lot of money has been spent on this.
yeah, for sure.
Um, I'm big on
I'm waiting.
Threads or
I'm waiting.
something.
I'm waiting for my invitation, but yeah.
You can't get on Threads, can you? Because you're European.
Yeah, I think so. Uh, it's something to have with the European Union um
And the data.
protocol or data stuff. Yeah, they pretty much just don't want to allow threads on Apple Store for at least the foreseeable future. So yeah,
How odd.
well, yeah,
How odd. I mean, I'm in Threads. It's basically like a slightly more polished Twitter with no adverts. Um,
okay,
there's nothing. There's nothing terribly exciting in it, I must say. The same. Everybody's just mirroring the same content, so you see the same tweet as you see the same thread. Like nobody's been like, I'm Threads only, so that's not
yeah.
happened yet. So we've got a
Well,
lot.
hopefully,
We've got a lot of.
hopefully not, because
Yeah, because you'd be locked
I
out.
want to see stuff. Yeah, exactly.
I do wonder though. Obviously, you've got Meta powering it, which is Facebook, WhatsApp,
Hmm.
Instagram. They do have the money and the ability, kind of Twitter, and they've got 50 million in the.
Yeah, that's true. But I saw that Elon was actually preparing, to go to court because of the new app. So I don't know.
Was he also threatened Mark Zuckerberg to a cage fight, didn't he, or something like that?
Yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine Bob Iger and I don't even know who the chairman is. Imagine like all settle our differences on theme parks. How do you want to do that? Well, let's go and have a cage match in Orlando's conference centre. Can you imagine that
Yeah,
was how they handled problems?
yeah, that would be awesome, to be honest. I'd love to see Bob Iger just
If we,
absolutely.
if podcasts had thumbnails, that would be our thumbnail for this one. Bob Iger and whoever Universal's
A
CEO.
box match.
That would be it.
Wow.
Um, so
Wow.
we don't have much. Oh, we do have one last thing to cover, just because I feel like dragging my complaint along the ground. So my annual pass expires on the 5th of August, and it's now
Hmm.
the 7th of July, and I have not had my renewal email. Now, I believe that if I phone, I can renew it. However, it's kind of telling, so that the idea is of.
So let me see if I got this straight. You want to renew or not?
I would like to renew. I'll probably phone them before it expires.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah,
interesting that, but they are not sending the emails out now to
that's
encourage you to renew.
interesting. Yeah.
So
We've heard that the new lineup will be announced this month, so July. So could be coming up. I mean, we're in July 7th, so I don't know. With the new lineup, I don't think it will go into sale, just after it's announced. But I don't know actually. Could it happen? They announce and just start a sale right after.
they usually do. So when they
Oh,
moved from
okay.
when they moved from the last set, it was the same day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I would think so.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so I mean,
If it
I
relies
would
on the
renew.
app, no, it won't work. But
Oh yeah, good point. Good point. But I would renew if I were you, just as soon as possible.
just get
Because
it done.
yeah, just get it done, and it's gonna be, a lot a lot more money to get the same or less perks. So I would
Yeah,
just, go for it, to be honest.
there we go. You've convinced me. Um, we obviously have no New Year. We don't have a New Year's Eve party either, do we?
No, we
So
don't.
all the parties have been cancelled.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a normal operating day with a show.
I
Just
guess they've kind of put two and two together and thought people will be here for New Year's anyway. So, meh.
I guess so, but why don't why not make money? I
I
just
don't
don't understand.
I don't understand it either. However, there is going to be one piece of news. I suppose we should share is there is a Bas is it not Bastille is it Bastille Day? Yes.
Today, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, Bastille Day, 14th
Yes.
July. And on Bastille Day, I'm going to read this out. Um, join in the celebrations for France's National Day this 14th July with a show in Disneyland Park that's more magical than ever. Straight after Dreams, get ready to be amazed by dazzling fireworks disappear and a spectacular drone choreography never before seen at Disneyland Paris. Celebrate
Mm-hmm.
the beloved Disney and Pixar classics with a French touch, including Beauty and the Beast and Ratatouille. What better moment to sing and dance? After all, well, this is France. And then it has a big disclaimer because I think they're really worried about it getting called off by strike. However, the visuals for this party, which they've sent out lots of visuals for once, is actually the drone seems to be taking the shape of French monuments. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got the Arc de Triomphe, you've got the Eiffel Tower, you've got the um,
I think it's Sacré-Cœur, no?
yeah, possibly. So you've got all that. You've got the cathedral as well. So you've got
Mm-hmm.
that, and they show them as so the fireworks look like, and they do have an exception on that night to loud fireworks.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
so I think there will be noise. And the artwork is very specific projection. So I think that this show, unlike the Wishes show that they done
Mm-hmm.
for New Year last year. I think this one is going to be and high level noise. So I think it'll be very exciting.
Yeah,
And if you're
I
there,
mean, last year's show was absolutely amazing. They also had the drones take the shape of the Eiffel Tower, and I think the glass of the Notre Dame. So that was amazing. That show was absolutely mind blowing. So if they improve on that, I think it's going to be a hell of a show.
well, that was announced today, which is a bit late, I guess, given that it's in 7 days.
Yeah, but,
Um,
I mean, it's a busy time. They don't need more people, right? So
True.
why not announce it, right now? The parks are going to be busy either way, so.
That is true. So that's kind of it. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to bring to the table?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we've covered pretty much everything we wanted to cover.
Well, everybody who's listening along live, please chuck your final comments in the chat because otherwise we are about to log out. I was thinking about something you said the other day about night parades and Phantasmic, and I'm now more convinced than ever that Phantasmic is coming to that great big lake. Like I am convinced, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
I've upgraded my hopefulness to now fairly convinced that Phantasmic's coming to that lake.
Yeah. I don't know if it will be Phantasmic, but you know, I don't know. I
I
think it
think it'll
will
be
be.
Phantasmic.
You think
I'm pretty
so?
sure. Phantasmic's one of the only shows that has perpetuality at Disney. It's one of the, it's
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
that's
shows that
true.
they
Yeah.
just they bring it back. Everybody loves it. I mean, realistically, people are going to Disney. People want to see Mickey Mouse fight a dragon, good conquers evil, all that sort of rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I see, amusingly, Mickey Mouse in the chat, which there's kind of a whole funniness there to Mickey Mouse saying, I doubt Phantasmic will come because Mickey Mouse obviously has to fight the dragon every night in Disneyland and Disney World. But, I mean, the dragon can't really catch that much fire. I mean, realistically, nobody's in any worst case scenario, it topples across it. Um,
Yeah, and let's remember that if the rumors are true that Disneyland Paris bought the barges from Tokyo, which have been
yeah,
rumors, long-running rumors, if that happens, if it is Phantasmic, which I'm not entirely convinced, if it is, Tokyo has their own different dragon that operates. It's
yeah.
completely different to either the one in
We'll probably get
Orlando or
we'll get a
Anaheim.
drone
So.
dragon. We'll just get a drone
Oh yeah,
dragon.
yeah. Those patents were absolutely amazing with the big puppets in the sky with the drones. That could
Which I
happen
think is,
actually. Good
I
call.
actually think we'd get a drone dragon. I think that would probably be the way they do it. Bernix has put, he thinks it will be
Yeah.
World of Colour. However, World of Colour requires an articulated fountain barge thing. And
Yeah,
as far as I'm
that we
aware,
don't. Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah. No, it
haven't.
is. It is. We don't have that
The,
yet. They're installing
yeah,
something in the middle of the lake.
but
But I'm not sure if
it's only
that's
at
it.
one side though. I mean, if you look, the
Yeah, that's
squares
true.
off to the right, like World of Colour would need to
Hmm.
have. There is going to be fountains. I
Yeah,
mean, they can't have a lake without fountains, but you're not
yeah,
going to. I don't think
hopefully,
you're going
yeah.
to get World of Color. World of Color requires an awful lot of money and an awful lot of articulated barges that they just don't have. That said, World of Color is one of the few shows that actually probably costs very little to run once you've installed it because it's really just color and
That's
water.
true. Yeah, that's true. It's just
Um,
lights and water. There's and music, but that's pretty much
I
it.
would rather
You don't
I
have.
would rather Phantasmic than World of Color, but I'd take either. I'd be happy with either.
Yeah, I
Um,
prefer Phantasmic to be honest.
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Any of
Um,
those are and welcomed.
and then if they give me a light parade, if we could get a nighttime light parade, which doesn't even really need to be that different to the day parade, just with some, lights
Lights.
chucked on it. Yeah. I mean, that
Yeah,
would make me happy. I would be very, very happy if we could just have a
you
light
really
parade.
want
If
that
we could
night
do
parade.
well, I mean, just put out the Main Street Electrical Parade again, or put out. I mean, I don't even need a new one. Like, it doesn't even need to be. It doesn't even need to be 20 floats long. It could just be a 5 float or a 4 float cavalcade. That would satisfy me. You know,
Yeah.
send out the Casey Junior train and send out 4 or 5 floats, and there you go. That would be me fully satisfied for a light cavalcade. The Main Street Electrical Rapid Parade. Um,
The
we
Main
should
Street
have that.
light from like light parade.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. The light parade. Um, you've got Tokyo Dream Lights, and now you've got lights in Paris. I quite like that. Um, yeah, I mean Disney Stars on Parade, but then the thing that tells me we won't be getting it is Disney Stars on Parade has been going for like 300 years and it's nearly dead. I
Yeah,
mean that parade,
it's completely it's just sad.
it
Parts
is,
of
isn't it?
parts of the floats are just missing. It's just time to retire it.
It's time to retire Stars on Parade. And then the other one is, Dream and Shine Brighter, the parade, the although we shouldn't really call it Dream and Shine Brighter because everybody ready for the ride. Its floats are dreadful, but the parade, the dancer
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
up for what is a dreadful parade. Um,
Oh, we didn't talk about something that I think could be interesting. Um, what's your opinion on the new Nautilus?
I
Have you
don't
seen
care.
the? Oh, come
Like,
on.
I mean, I'm one of the few people I went. I mean, I was on the Nautilus. I mean, 2012 or something, and it was original. It was still rubbish. I'm not. It was rubbish then. It's rubbish now. It's nice they've done it over. People are very, very upset about a ride that nobody goes on.
No,
It's a
it's not
nice
quiet.
walk through. Well, it's a walk through shuffle attraction. I mean, it's nice to get out of the rain. It's nice heat sometimes for some air conditioning. Fun to walk through. I have no real opinion. This
Okay.
it wasn't as bad as Pizza Planet was. Like Pizza
Yeah.
tragic and had to go, which is a shame because the actual concept of a buffet
Hmm.
could probably do quite well, and the Pizza Planet theme is a wonderful theme, and I'm really sad that instead we, the cheapest
Yeah.
pasta and pizza known to man.
Yeah.
But the Nautilus, I'm not that bothered. Are you bothered? Is it a big one for you?
I mean, it's not, but it's just sad to see, a good theming be changed and replaced by screens.
Yeah,
So
but
and
I
just
mean, you're only upset about that with the other 3 people that are upset about that. Nobody, there's no like the people who book Disneyland Paris with their kids don't
oh yeah,
care.
no, completely, yeah. I completely agree. I'm in the minority. But yeah, it's just kind of sad.
I mean, if you renamed it Ocean Gate Titan Explorations, it would probably. I mean, I mean, the submarine that went missing looking for the has a bigger following than
Yeah.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I mean, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is getting its own Disney Plus show. So, I don't know. We could see some changes.
There's a lot of things that get their own Disney Plus show that aren't very good.
Yeah, true.
Let's talk about Disney Plus for a minute. You've just I know I just said we'll finish, but one last kind of thing on the subject of Disney Plus.
Hmm.
They've started to say that they're gonna, and they've already started actually. They're putting content back in.
Yeah.
What is that about?
I don't know. I think they took out content because they would, save money. But people
But
are
how?
still
It's theirs.
no, but no. We talked about this last time. It's because of they need to pay for to keep that on storage and just it's costly to have that much content.
Disney.
To I think so at least. That's
I
why
was
they do
really
it that way.
I was really excited. I always thought there'd be a wee bit of consolidation. I thought Disney Plus and Netflix, that'll be my two. Oh no, it's all gone wrong. I wish Disney would buy Star Trek. That's quite annoying. I wish Disney would buy Star Trek. That would be nice.
Yeah.
or Universal or Comcast or, I hear Paramount's going away, so they don't have any money left to fight. So, anyway, in the absence of any more topics for this week or this, I don't know how often we do these, every 2 weeks or something. It seems recently. This has been number 4 though, so thank you very much to everybody for listening in. That has been the Disney Discord podcast, episode 4. I've been Graham, and you have been,
Bernardo.
and we will see you again on the next show. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye bye.